how about the scene on first off, Sunday night when the Rams played the Bears with actual fans in the stands at SoFi Stadium, and now we look forward to the Cowboys heading out there and facing the Chargers in that stadium.
Tell you what, if they thought it was crazy last night, wait until those Cowboys get here. and knowing the relationship between the two owners of these two teams and the influence that Jerry Jones had on building SoFi Stadium, it is without a doubt, I think, it has the best home field advantage in the NFL because the field is built below sea level. If there is, and God forbid, if there ever is an earthquake, the whole stadium will shift and not just parts of the stadium will shift. The sound system is immaculate. The field is tremendous. Just the overall atmosphere around the whole stadium is just wonderful. And as you know, Bill, with the Olympics coming here, and more importantly than that, the Super Bowl coming here, it's just the place to go to in Los Angeles right now. And the NFL should be very proud of what the Rams have built there, along with Jerry had a little bit to do with it himself.
He did, and it just looks amazing on television, especially with fans in the stands. And I know Jerry is hoping there's be a lot of Cowboys fans in that stadium on Sunday. Of course, Cowboys, as you know, have been training out there going back to the Thousand Oaks days in the 60s. And there's a lot of Cowboys fans in Southern California, aren't there?
Yes, the Cowboys travel as good as any team in the NFL. Their fans are just wonderful. Wherever the Cowboys go, their fans will follow. And I am sure that there will be a nice representation of Cowboy fans in the stands for this coming game because it's the Cowboys. It's Jerry Jones. It's the new stadium that he had a hand in building. And so everybody is really enthusiastic and just happy to get football back and to have people in the stands, which is absolutely wonderful. And we're all looking forward to this game, that's for sure.
Hey, let's talk about this matchup of quarterbacks because the way Dak Prescott looked on Thursday night in the opener at Tampa Bay coming off a couple of injuries, and then what Justin Herbert has done early in his career. Dak went for over 400 yards and threw 58 passes against the Buccaneers, and Herbert goes for over 300 yards and continued just exactly what he did during his rookie season as well. What a matchup this is.
It really is, and I'm pulling for both guys to play well. We hate to see anyone get hurt. I remember that when I was playing. But first of all, talking about Dak, he is an individual who is a tremendous leader. He's gone through a lot, both on and off the field. And when you come back from an injury like he did, it takes a lot out of you, not only physically but mentally. And I was really impressed with not only the way he comported himself on the field, but the manner in which his passes were going through the air. They didn't have any wobble to them. It looked like he knew exactly what he was doing and what he wanted to do. And of course, congratulations to him. And as far as Justin is concerned, Justin's not playing like a second-year quarterback. He didn't play like a first-year quarterback when he was thrown into the fire last year. But then I got to tell you, one of the impressive things was Drew Brees was in town a couple of weeks ago. And he and Justin were standing out on the practice field. And it's incredible. Drew was doing all the talking. Justin was doing all the listening. And you can tell when Justin is really zeroing on someone, like when you're talking to someone and they're looking at you and they start squinting their eyes like that, like they're just looking right down your throat. That's exactly what Justin was doing. He was eating up every word, every syllable, every letter that Drew Brees was giving him. And after that, later that night, they went and they had watched film together. So Justin is off to a good start. He's a wonderful young man, but I got to tell you another quick story about him. I went out to training camp one day and I'm getting ready to do an interview with him. And I said, "Hey man, how are you doing?" He said, "Well, Jim, I got to apologize. This probably won't be a good interview." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I just had a real bad practice." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I just had a real bad practice and I take these things hard and I probably won't be a good interview. I'll do it with you anyway. Don't worry about that, but it probably won't be good." I said, "Justin, let me tell you something. You think Brady hadn't had bad practices?" Huh? You think Drew Brees hasn't had bad practices? But for a young man only to be in the league a year plus, to have that kind of attitude, he's going to be around for a long time, and he's going to have some records in the record books when he finishes too.
You know, the Drew Brees connection with Justin is interesting. Of course, Brandon Staley, the first-year head coach there, hires Joe Lombardi, the grandson of Vince Lombardi, as his offensive coordinator. And Lombardi was the quarterback's coach with the Saints, very close with Drew Brees. The tie-in there, I wonder how much we are already seeing some of those Saints principles on offense incorporated into Justin Herbert here.
Slowly but surely, we certainly will. I know that the Chargers are trying to get that in their offensive philosophy. But the other wonderful thing that makes them feel comfortable about Justin is that he has the study habits of a quarterback that's been in the league 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Even last year when he was the starter, he'd go into work at 7:30 in the morning, an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours ahead of everybody else. And he's already in the film room or the tape room, studying tape, talking to coaches, finding out about tendencies and things like that. I hope you get a chance to talk to this young man because he's deep. He is really deep, and he's going to be a good one. He's already pretty good. He's going to be really good sometime soon.
And how about the other side of the ball for the Chargers? Of course, Brandon Staley, what an incredible story he is. Such a short time in the National Football League. And, he was with Vic Fangio in Chicago and then Denver, and was the defensive coordinator last year with the Rams, #1 defense in the league, and then gets hired at age 37 as the Chargers head coach. And he's got stars on every level of that defense. So Joey Bosa, Kenneth Murray, and Derwin James back at safety, doesn't he?
Oh, he certainly does. And they believe in him. They believe in everything that he says. He does things. Everything that he does is for a purpose. I'll give you another great example. It was the very first day of camp when they could put on pads. But they get like halfway through practice. He blows the whistle. He pulls everybody together. He says, "Take them off." They said, "Take what off?" He said, "Take the pads off." And they looked at each other. And this was a bonding moment for the players and the coaching staff, and in particular, Brandon Staley. He's letting them know he's going to do anything and everything possible for their comfort as long as they are safe and to make sure that they are healthy and ready to play. Now, they go to Washington last week. And most teams, they go West Coast to East Coast. Most of the time they go on Fridays, right? He went Saturday morning. You talk about business trip. When by the time they landed, it was already, 4 or 5 in the afternoon. All they had time to do was go check in at the hotel, have a meeting, go to sleep. So now that particular philosophy works, and the players are going to believe that. He copied a lot of things from Sean McVay of the Rams. And so Coach McVay has the greatest amount of respect for Brandon Staley, and he's going to be a winner. I mean, he's off to a great start. That's a pretty good football team back east in Washington, and now they feel really good about themselves.
And finally, just how important do you think this game is from both teams' perspective? Because here the Chargers have an opportunity to get out to a 2-0 start with a win at home in their home opener, and the Cowboys don't want to fall down 0-2 with 2 road games to start the season here. I think it's pretty critical for Mike McCarthy that the Cowboys put forth the same kind of effort but come away with a W on Sunday against the Chargers.
Oh, yeah, and the other thing about that is this is a stadium that Jerry had a big hand in building. And, people can say what they want, but that's in the back of Jerry's mind. The players may not admit it totally, but to some players, that may be in the back of their minds too. But the Cowboys find themselves in a very awkward situation, I think you might say, because I know it's still early in the season, and you don't want to say this is a must win, but this is a very, very, very important game to them, because in that division, you fall down, you slow out of the gates, and you know how it is. A lot of people love the Cowboys, but there are a lot of people that do not like America's team, and they would love to see the Cowboys get off to a very, very slow start. So you're going to see a mild amount of desperation, if you will, from them.
All right, Jim, I appreciate it. You know, there were positive things talked about the Cowboys playing those defending Super Bowl champs close, but you know, it's been like this for 50 years, if not more than that, here in Dallas. The next day, starting right tackle Lyle Collins suspended 5 games. Today, Randy Gregory goes into COVID protocol. If it's not one thing, it's another with these guys.
Yeah, it really is. It reminds me of a TV series, a really good TV series that's going on. One of the soaps, As the World Turns, as the Cowboys turn. So we're going to see this weekend. But whatever it is, I hope that everybody plays well. No one gets hurt. No one gets hurt. Everyone is healthy, and that the fans here enjoy this fabulous stadium called SoFi Stadium. It really is a thing of beauty, and I hope you get a chance to come out and see it.
Appreciate it, Jim. And by the way, our guy Matthew Stafford from Highland Park, right here in Dallas, I think he's gonna have a big season for the Rams.
Yes, and his coach says that Matthew Stafford has taught him something. And I said, "What do you mean? That's kind of crazy. What do you mean?" He says, "I'm just telling you, Jim." Sean said he has this way, this mannerism about himself that makes him a pro's pro. And from the moment he walked in that front door, he had the total respect of everyone.
Appreciate it, Jim. Thank you so much.
Take care, buddy. Thanks for having me.